deep. Great start for the Brisbane Bullets.
JLA steps in the passing lane.
Watch out! Here's Jacob Holt with his feet set for three. Nice knockdown for the big man. Doolittle just attacks it straight away. He's just too big. Norton to Holt with the hammer. Oh, took it upstairs and jams with authority.
Yes, sir.
Taylor with back-to-back buckets.
JLA winds up and buckets.
Holt goes in again. They just cannot do anything about this man at the other end.
Kerry Taylor. Oh, nice jam move.
And a steal from Henschel. He'll jump up high and put it in the hoop.
One of the form teams in the competition trying to round into the postseason in fine fettle. The Perth Wildcats host the Brisbane Bullets in the second leg of a Friday night doubleheader. The locals are pumped. That man has been in absolutely stellar form leading his team. A formidable 1-2 punch with JLA. For the Bullets, they played with spirit last time out. They'll need to bring a little bit more than that into RAC Arena this evening to emerge with a victory. Great to have you with us. Friday Night Hoops, Joel Peterson and Pete Hawley with you. And for the Wildcats Halls, every win that they can get is important at this stage of the season.
Absolutely it is, because we're getting to the business end. Next Friday, it's going to all finish off with the Perth Wildcats playing the Adelaide 36ers. We'll talk about the ladder predictor throughout, but percentage could come into play. And here's the form ladder, which is very interesting, JP, since round 15. Perth Wildcats absolutely flying right now. Everything's starting to click at the right time, which is when you want it to.
Absolutely. Now, the variable that they bring back into this team is David Duke Jr., who returns for his first game since December 28. So, having recovered, you can see the sleeve on the left arm there as well. It will be interesting to see how they get him reacclimated to this team.
Would have been more interesting had Ben Henschel been available.
Yep.
Because I remember John Riley in the press conference not too long ago, maybe last week, came out and said, yeah, we're rolling right now. I don't want to mess with anything. Now that Ben Henschel's out, you can give him 20, 25 minutes if his body's ready and help him get ready and up to speed.
John Riley was really strong after their last win against Cairns last week about this man. Christian Doodle said, I am perplexed why he is not in more awards conversations, particularly for MVP, particularly for Defensive Player of the Year. There is no one in the competition that he cannot guard. His season has been outstanding.
Look, he's got a great point in terms of he's the best two-way player in the competition right now. We're seeing it because the numbers he can put up on the offensive end is outstanding, but then you give him a defensive assignment and he's going to lock him down. He's incredibly strong, but we've seen him really add to his game. Playing a bit of a ball handler as well with David Duke Jr. going out. Look, he's one of my favourite players to watch, and I think if the Perth Wildcats want to have a deep run at it, he's going to be a major reason why.
Elijah Pepper's been great for them down the back end of this season, particularly in this hot streak as well. His form in recent times, though, you can see there, it swings and roundabouts.
And it doesn't have to always be the 20+, but the fact is he's got that and he's capable of doing it. So when Ben Henschel, who's been terrific as well in this period without that true point guard, that was all the emphasis, Elijah Pepper has stood up and said, yep, I'll handle the rock, but if you need me to break the game open with my threes, I can do that. I know it looks a bit staggering, but that's a really good period there from Elijah Pepper.
He could have 20+ in a quarter at any given
we
time
did.
as well, which is very important. On the Brisbane side of things, Terry Taylor, they needed someone to step up last time out. He couldn't drag them across the line against Cairns, but he gave them a season-best 25 points. He was active on the glass. It's exactly what Darryl McDonald wanted.
And again, I think it was just that. It was, hey, we need to see you compete. We need to see you be a lot more aggressive. And D-Mac in the press conference said, he can do this. He can score the rock. So can you go out there and really try and show us that that's what you want to do? They're going to need a big game from him, and I tell you what, he does not have an easy matchup against Christian Doolittle.
No, indeed. We'll hear a little bit more from him about that throughout the course of the game. Another intriguing part to this game tonight is that Tyrell Harrison returns for Brisbane. His first game in quite a while as well, so he's missed date due to concussion protocols. It was last time they played Perth when he collided with Mitch Norton. Are you surprised to see him back in the lineup?
Very much so. Very much so. Just think about where that season is heading right now for the Brisbane Bullets, who you talk about limping to the finish line. They're crawling to the finish line just with a not available body. So yes, it's great to have another body back and such a tremendous talent, but it's not just one concussion in his career. He's had some concussion issues, and hopefully he can just see out the last 2 games and then go into the off-season.
Friday nights are always big in the West. We're in good hands as well. Courtside this evening. Let's check in with the final 2 members of our team, Annalie Maley and Damien Martin. And Damo, some changes to this Perth lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. You already mentioned it's exciting to see the return of David Duke Jr., but unfortunately, unfortunately, due to an ankle tweak at training yesterday, Benny Henschel will watch this one from the sidelines. But I'm excited, not with necessarily how David Duke Jr. goes himself, but how he slots back into a team that is red hot right now. You need to play your best basketball at the right time of the season to be a competitor for the championship. They're doing exactly that. They probably were missing a bit of an X factor despite those wins. And if David Duke Jr. gets back to his best and can make sure Christian Doolittle continues playing at the level he's right now as an MVP candidate, you know, they're a real deal, but it starts with him getting ball in hand and feeling comfortable being back out on the floor after such a long period of time on the sideline. So David Duke and how he slots back in is what I'm looking forward to. Anna Lee, what are you excited about?
Well, I think this is actually a danger game for Perth. We talk about how important form is. Brisbane have absolutely nothing to lose right now, and you've got one team with nothing to lose. That's a little bit dangerous, so we're hoping to keep RAC on their feet for the whole night.
Yeah, good shout. Thank you both. Looking forward to hearing much more of both of you throughout the course of the call. There you see our starting lineup. So no Tyrell Harrison, no David Duke Jr. out there in the starting lineups for these two teams tonight. And we are set to go out west.
It's also a good opportunity with Dante Russell-Nance, who's got a couple of spot minutes here and there in each game since Jaron Riley's gone out with injury, because you never know what happens in the postseason if someone needs to step up and play with confidence. And I tell you what, couldn't have asked for a better start unless he could finish.
Dante Russell-Nance, he started 5 games of his 22 appearances so far this season. John Riley paid homage to him after their last game, saying that he's given some really good minutes and he's playing with some real confidence right now. Here's Terry Taylor and Christian Doolittle, two very crafty operators. And JLA playing that gap coverage perfectly, rumbles to the other end and draws the foul.
It's going to go to the free throw line, which has not been a happy place for JLA. And Alex Dukas turned straight away to D-Mac, wanting a challenge. You don't need to challenge this right now. See where JLA is at from the free throw line, because he has had his struggles this season. But also you saw down the other end the impact of Christian Doolittle, just holding his ground, saying, Terry Taylor, you don't want any part of this.
Joe Lualachul misses the first free throw. Started the season in such great form, Pete. He hasn't necessarily continued in that vein throughout, but we know how important he is to this Perth Wildcats team across the course of the season. And a nice little milestone for him there with 2,000 career points in the NBL as he gets us going tonight.
That's what he does best, is score the ball, and they're going to get a turnover here. So Brisbane have come out a little flat. So hard, travel across the other side of the country where the season has been in turmoil. But the Perth Wildcats have got a lot more to play for. So sometimes you get caught into the trap of playing down to your opposition.
Great work from Pepper on the boards and a nice little tap pass to Doolittle.
Really smart awareness there from Elijah Pepper.
This Brisbane team generated 25 offensive rebounds last time out against Cairns. Got up plenty more shots, just could not hit anything. Couldn't hit the side of a barn. The Bullets, Pepper with the takeaway there on Maldonado. He's at the other end and scoring.
And look, to be honest, if I was D-Mac, I'd be calling a timeout, which he's going to do right now. Because the turnovers, 3 turnovers in the first 90 seconds. We know it's an almighty task for them to go over to Perth, but he always uses the word compete in post-game press conferences, and this is just not a good start.
No, it's not. Had a great finish last time out, the Perth Wildcats, didn't they? The exclamation point on it all was Jesse Wagstaff, who caught up with Damo a little while ago.
Firstly, Jesse Wagstaff, I want to thank you on behalf of all of our NBL viewers. It's the first time since coloured TV came into play that we've witnessed a dunk, so I just want to thank you. The last time was in black and white. How did it feel?
I don't know how to respond to that, mate. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, on the back of that, I want to do a little bit of true or false. You know, I would like to keep it simple with these types of interviews. True or false, Woody Harrelson's performance in White Man Can't Jump is the reason you got up there above the rim?
False.
True or false, when you got home after this massive dunk, you reached out to the owner of the NBL, Larry Kesselman, and asked to bring back the dunk competition so you could participate?
False, but when I did get home, my wife was in bed because it was quite late, and I walked in and she literally laughed at me, was almost in tears, and said, "Why the hell did you do that?" So that's the reception I got.
True or false, you ate a baby cow before the game to pump up the calf muscles?
False.
And true or false, you're sick of talking about that dunk?
True.
Let's
Worst
move.
thing I ever did.
I'm surprised Damo did all that without cue cards or anything. That was a sterling performance.
Two very good friends. And to be honest, Damo had some of the best ball taps of NBL history. He would get up there and slap that backboard any time he could. And I'm sure that Jesse Wagstaff, when he eventually hangs him up, would like to go down memory lane with Damo about that.
Nice little turnaround there from Terry Taylor. The Bullets' first field goal attempt. So with those 3 turnovers, Pete, they had not got a shot up. So that's probably Damo, what I imagine DMAC would have been looking for at that huddle.
Yeah, I quickly got over to the huddle anticipating an absolute rev up from the coach, but instead I think he took the decision to say, okay, let's start again, let's get back into the offenses. He called a few plays and says, fellas, let's start again, get back into Bullets basketball. But instead he wouldn't be too happy with seeing Dylan Windler drop it through.
So important to this Perth team, Dylan Windler. Here's Terry Taylor.
That could be off Terry Taylor. Yeah, that's 100% off Terry Taylor, it is. There's just no urgency right now from the Brisbane Bullets.
He was way too casual about that.
Have another look here. It was a great call from the referee. We saw it from where we are, and it's unlucky because Windler's obviously trying to hit it out, and again, down the other end, just an easy 2.
This has not been the start of the Bullets have wanted. The Wildcats are 4-6.
Oh, it's a horrible start.
4 turnovers for the Bullets. They've got 1 shot up and they've made that shot, but they're not giving themselves the opportunity. Mitch Norton, of course, played a lot of basketball in this arena over the journey. He kept firing away over the course of last weekend for the Bullets, although shooting 16% from 3 on the season. Still keeping the defense honest. Someone's got to.
Oh, my word.
Wow.
I mean, there's got to be a substitution right now. Something has to happen.
Was Christian Doolittle
Christian
laughing?
Doolittle's laughing. He's just thrown that. He's just thrown that to the front row.
That is the height of disrespect.
I haven't seen that.
Wow. What a start this is.
JP, he threw it to the front row.
For both all the right reasons for the Wildcats and all the wrong reasons for the Bullets.
And poor D-Mac's got his head in his hands thinking, what can he do right now? There's got to be a sub coming very soon.
They look discombobulated here, the Bullets.
Foul.
And that's another
6 turnovers. Have a look at this. That's not even close to get to Jacob Holt and Christian Doolittle.
No.
Honestly, it is without fathom.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you there. What an extraordinary start for this Bullets team, and in no way do I mean extraordinary with any kind of positive connotation whatsoever. Doolittle for 3. They're doing what they want.
If Brisbane don't just have a little bit of an energy spurt here or an injection from somebody, we're looking at a record coming here because they just don't have any resistancy, no urgency. They're not locked in whatsoever.
I might need to check with Andrew Gaze.
Oh my goodness.
And now Terry Taylor stepped on the sideline. I don't know if you can have a spifflication within 4 minutes of a game, but if you could, this is what this is.
They have 7 turnovers. Perth have 6 made field goals. Right now, Perth Wildcats field goals are down 1 on the turnovers from the Brisbane Bullets.
And look at Terry Taylor and Darryl McDonald at the moment.
That's just frustration.
Yeah. From both parties. Oh, that's maybe a little bit more than frustration. David Duke Jr. into the game for Perth among all of this. Tyrell Harrison getting his first minutes for Brisbane. JLA getting inside and getting what he wants. 18-2.
18-2.
And not even in 5 minutes, Pete.
They've had 1 field goal attempt in 4.5 minutes, and here will be their second one, thankfully, from Tyrell Harrison.
And the Bullets fans must be thinking, welcome back, Tyrell.
Well, we said off the top, wasn't sure if bringing him back was the smartest thing to do, considering their season's done and dusted and all the history that he's had, but thank goodness.
Doolittle misses that one. They're 3 of 4 from outside the Wildcats, 7 of 10 from the field. The Bullets, with the 2 shots that they've been able to get up, they've made them both. Mitch Norton has that one go around and out. Harrison pulls down the offensive rebound. Dukas back in familiar surrounds in Western Australia, knocks in the 3-ball. Back-to-back buckets for the Bullets.
And they're shooting 75%.
And just that.
Well, even that right there, right, from Alex Dukas, you've got to rip that ball down.
A little bit of urgency that they're missing.
Finally got another miss, and then they give up a layup down the other end. So they had a couple of good possessions offensively. It was Harrison, then it was Dukas. And they give up an offensive rebound and a layup.
Had a great 30-odd seconds there, Alex Dukas. Tane Murray sitting at the scorer's bench waiting to check into the game. Maldonado from the elbow, cashes the jump shot. So at least they've been able to just steady the scoreboard and stem the bleeding here a little bit, the Bullets. JLA with a catch down low, Windler for three.
This is also now for the Perth Wildcats is they're going to, every single pass was going to be an open shot.
Smith-Milner gets run over by JLA.
So this is the balancing act, and it's tough for John Riley because they're sitting in this zone. There's no urgency. Every single person is going to be open. You've got to start to be a little careful. You don't just go out of everything that you've been practicing all week and say, hey, let's just let it fly.
David Aquera with some early minutes. So too Latmayan, who checks in for game number 100.
D-Mac, the frustration, feel for him. And D-Mac, Terry Taylor. It's not fun to be on a losing team, but you cannot be displaying that to your head coach.
Especially when you're pretty culpable for some of those moments as well, which he most certainly is in all of that. He can't just wave those away. You see earlier tonight, the Kings going big on the Hawks in Wollongong. Couple of shots coming up here for Tyrell Harrison. Just given his injury history and I guess his predisposition to head knocks, Pete, it seems like a risky move, but you know, if you're Darryl McDonald and you've been asking your team to compete all season, and even for Tyrell Harrison from a personal pride perspective, he would have wanted to be getting
for sure, no doubt about it. I mean, he's having a terrific season individually as well, so he just want to kind of get a bit of the rust off before the off-season, and they're going to give away burgers here because why not?
Code words Eurostep, head into the NBL lab, claim your free Hungry Jack's cheeseburgers out west. 6 o'clock tomorrow. Tell them Tyrell sent you when you go and pick one up.
But the other side of it is, do you have to kind of just take the decision out of his hands? So we'll see the last couple of games, and hopefully he gets a really good run at it.
Red 35.
Maldonado heading to the free throw line here. So, Bullets on the back foot to start. Of course, the Ignite Cup final coming up on the Gold Coast. Less than 2 weeks away now, Feb 22. You don't want to miss the Sixers and the Breakers battling it out to be crowned the inaugural champions. Scan the QR code on screen or get your tickets at Ticketek. What an event that is going to be in the Sunshine State. Going to be able to keep a lid on things up there, Pete?
Well, I will. My counterparts, I'm not so sure.
I heard Copes sort of talking as if he was some kind of angel last night on the broadcast.
Well, that right there is a taste of their medicine because that is a terrible entry pass there from David Duke Jr. and that's another offensive foul. 8 turnovers in the first 6.5 minutes.
Push, offense, side.
As a team, I mean, they have had their struggles looking after the ball so far this season, the Brisbane Bullets. There's no doubt about that, but even this is a new low, and there's Tyrell Harrison. Interesting, Ariana Prather reported on Sunday in our broadcast game that he had only been cleared to return to exercising, so doing any kind of physical activity late last week. So it's quite a quick turnaround for him to sort of...
It was clearly playing short stints as well, which is smart.
Latmayan just flat out beat Alex Dukas off the dribble there. Couldn't stick the layup. Getting all that they want inside at the moment. Smith-Milner hits the three.
It's much better the last couple of minutes, and here from John Riley, it's a good timeout. They've fallen into the trap of one pass from a Perth Wildcats perspective. If I'm open, I'm going to shoot it. Latmayan had a contested shot in the corner, or I'm just going to get a layup. It's a false sense of security right now playing against a Brisbane team that hasn't shown up, that you're just missing shots. They're 8 of 15. 14 of them have been really good looks.
Yep, they were 18-2, Pete, the Wildcats, so they've taken their foot off the gas, and it's been to their detriment. Let's listen into the Brisbane coach, Darryl McDonald, at the Tangerine timeout.
Just yell match. Because then will know whoever's at the top of the zone, he can't, like, run wide.
It's the jogging back, though. Like, once we don't get, everybody sprint back. Know where guys are. Know where the shooters are. Go 54 Spain. Again, make sure we rebound. Everybody get on the boards. We give rebounds and we can go. Let's go.
Together, 1, 2, 3.
All that he's preached all season is just for them to compete. He saw that last Sunday. He didn't see it last Friday against Tasmania. In the opening minutes, he wouldn't have seen it, but the last couple, they've sort of pulled things back together a little bit here, the Bullets.
Yeah, it has been better. Bench energy. Started with Tyrell Harrison. And then Hunter Maldonado's hit a shot. Alex Dukas, from an offensive rebound.
So Perth by 5 here. John really called that timeout. Huntley, what did the coach have to say?
He was kind of calling for them to relax. He was like, guys, why are we taking the first shot that's available down the court? So it was mimicking a lot of what you guys were saying. What he didn't kind of point out is that right now Brisbane are in an alternate defense. So they're zone sometimes, a man sometimes, and that seems to be giving the Wildcats a little bit of issue.
I think, yes, that is definitely the technical side of it, but the first point is the most accurate one because they've come down. It'll be one pass. Someone's just feeling good about to shoot.
Keep a bit of a handle on things at the moment here are the Wildcats. They lead it 18-2. Brisbane had 6 turnovers and 1 made field goal at one stage, 1 attempted field goal. They're now 5 of 7 with 8 turnovers, but at least they've steadied the ship a little bit. Patched up with they were taking on water. Sunday Detch back into this lineup. Off illness that saw him miss last Friday's game. Doolittle for 3. That stroke has looked mighty good this season.
And that's a better one. That's a better look to take. 10 points already for Christian Doolittle. He's angry we didn't put him in your first team, Joel.
I don't know how he got wind of that, Pete. I don't think I've selected one.
He's in there.
Absolutely he is. Yep. His contribution throughout the course of the season has been immense. Another offensive rebound here for Brisbane, so this would really please D-Mac. And now Jacob Holt banging down low.
They got the offensive rebound and they got a post pass that didn't go out of bounds, so there's some positives to take out of that. They have been much better in this last 2.5 minutes. And there's some activity defensively.
Norton back the other way. Holt taps it home. (23-17) with a minute to play here in this first term. Second leg of a Friday doubleheader in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Penultimate round of the season. Plenty of final shaping games still to come. Latmayan from the corner can't hit. Sunday Detch with the rebounds.
Latmayan's just in practice mode right now. Third time lucky.
He's just sort of running his own drill out there. Is Latmayan.
Keep going.
3 ball to open up his milestone match. Norton misses. Holt puts a lid on it, an emphatic style.
Great energy from Jacob Holt now. And again, shout out Tyrell Harrison. When he subbed in, he was the one who seemed to spark something with everybody else.
Haven't seen Terry Taylor back in the lineup since those opening minutes.
I wouldn't be thinking about it at all right now. He's got 4 turnovers in the first 4 minutes. Christian Doolittle.
Oh boy.
He's on one.
And when he is on one, it is a scary place to be as an opposition team. He's got Perth back out by double figures. Norton looking underneath. Good defense from Detch. Norton regathers it up, misses on the buzzer. And the Perth Wildcats got away to a flying start. The Bullets clawed some ground back. And it's the home team by 10 at the end of one. 29-19 in this Friday night hit out.
Welcome back to RAC Arena, where the Perth Wildcats got off to a red-hot start, but the Bullets have clawed back into it. I'm here with the Bullets assistant coach, Greg Vanderjack. Greg, what have you made of the first 10 minutes?
Yeah, disappointing start by us. Just not ready to play, not at the level against a really good team, playing really good basketball right now. So disappointing, but good that we got back into it in the middle of the first.
The turnovers were the Achilles heel, but you've taken care of the ball since the early first 4 minutes. But Christian Doolittle, how do you slow him down?
Yeah, look, I mean, he's one of the best players in the league right now. Over the last month, like getting through the three, keep them off the glass. You know, you got to own the middle third against the Wildcats, and we haven't done that so far, so we've got to make that adjustment at quarter time.
Thanks a lot, Greg. Best of luck for the remainder.
Thanks to Damo, thanks to Vandy. Great access from the Brisbane Bullets, taking us inside their operation, and it would have been a pretty ropey start for them. 18-2, the Wildcats led after 4 minutes. Halls.
Yeah, they did a really good job to peg it back with some key energy off the bench, but also just looking after the ball. That's 7 turnovers in the first 6 minutes.
So that was the Brisbane side of things. Annalie, what did you hear at the Perth huddle?
Look, really was pretty happy with the way that they adjusted from their shot taking and those decisions that they were being forced into because of the zone. His main point was like, guys, we're playing well, but we need to clean up some things because we're not going to be able to do this in a couple of days. The 6-0 board seemed to be a main issue for him.
Of course, big game on Sunday for the Perth Wildcats against the Sydney Kings. What a blockbuster that is going to be to close out this round. Dante Russo-Nance with some great activity. Elijah Pepper goes upstairs to reel it in and then lays it home.
Didn't know he had that bounce. I don't know, Mitch Norton, he's a little older. I would have backed Mitch Norton to get that.
Spring in the step from Elijah Pepper. Must be doing something right in the plyometric department out at the Wildcats, because they got Jesse Wagstaff getting upstairs and Elijah Pepper displaying his springiness as well.
And for Elijah Pepper, as Tay Murray comes up with the miss there. Elijah Pepper, I feel like it's not a bicep curl, it's probably just getting shots up on the court.
Can't relate. Can't relate.
Oh boy.
Here's JLA coming downhill. Misses that one. Holt goes up with him. And that's last touch by Wildcats' hand.
JLA could have a monster night. He's missed a couple of bunnies. Amy replay. Have a look at this. Elijah Pepper just snatches it from Mitch Norton and then finishes.
He was born in Shepparton. State of Origin's on tomorrow. He could get a Guernsey for the Vicks playing instead of centre-half back or something, couldn't he?
Pretty loaded squad.
Very handy squad. Terry Taylor is back out there, Pete, after his rather ignominious start to this game.
Come on. You don't need to be throwing around vocab like that. He is way too late in the season. Pull your head in.
I thought you were going to say it's way too late in the night. Doolittle spinning back to the middle. Can't hit. Holt's activity on the glass, again important for Brisbane. He's got 5 rebounds in the early going here.
3 of those on the offensive end too. Yeah, the future is bright because got Jacob Holt locked in.
Showing that he can put it on the floor as well. Kicks it out, Maldonado. Now Murray in the corner, got it. That's a nice offensive possession from the Bullets. Holt sort of worked himself into trouble, but they navigated out of it nicely.
Still in this little 3-2 zone, so they've shown a 3-2 zone, a 2-3 zone, a bit of man-to-man. Unfortunately, you normally do that when you're not particularly great at either one of them. Just trying to continue to junk it up, which I don't mind that idea. I don't mind that game plan to keep the Wildcats guessing. Here's the Amy replay. That patience there from Jacob Holt. Extra pass from Maldonado. Tane Murray, feet set.
Nice hit from Tane Murray, who missed a chunk of the season in the middle part, but had a little bit of a slow start. Came on strong for the Bullets after a couple of rounds and then just couldn't get any continuity into his season, which has been the case for this Brisbane team that's used 19 players. Windler on his right hand, couldn't finish, and then he's just sort of sitting down in row 1, enjoying the life courtside. Last touch by Bullets.
Falcon, Tyrell Harrison. Welcome back.
Shake the old noggin up. Oh, wow. Just got tripped up there, Windler, and Doolittle just rips it back. Pepper on the take. Windler had all the time in the world from the corner.
Well, he deserved that, Dylan Windler, because he did all the hard work. That whole possession. Points now for Windler. Good pass there from Elijah Pepper.
Couple of turnovers for Maldonado. He's having a great season, Windler. 5th in the league in terms of double-doubles, averaging only the 6 rebounds on average, 14 and 6 across the course of the year, but we know that he can get up with the boards, the best of them. Speaking to Chris Anstey on NBL Now this morning, Pete, he said that he feels like Dylan Windler's the real sort of swing piece for the Wildcats, that if he, at his best, he raises this team's ceiling a lot.
Oh, he does. Because you've got JLA, you've got Christian Doolittle. But what Dylan Windler brings, he can attack the glass, and he can also fill it up. He's not afraid to pull it from deep either. He's also a very handy defender. That length, as they leave Elijah Pepper over. That's a layup. That's a layup for Elijah Pepper. Good timeout here from D-Mac.
Way too easy for Elijah Pepper. We showed you pre-game that he's been hot or cold. It's hot Pepper tonight. 10 points, 4 of 6 shooting. He's 2 of 3 from outside, 3 rebounds and 3 assists. He's doing all the right things. And now the Brisbane Bullets have got some things to work on once more. Down by 14 at 37-23. 6 minutes and 32 seconds remaining here in the second term as we get to the Tangerine timeouts. And it's an impassioned discussion at the moment down at that Brisbane huddle. Take a look at the dance cam in venue. What move would you go for on the dance cam, do you reckon, Pete? If you were shown on there?
Oh.
Have you got a go-to move that you'd bust out?
On the dance cam, can't really get the worm rolling on the dance cam, can you?
You probably don't have that much latitude. No,
so probably not. Probably head in hands.
But you'd be on the oblivious cam. You'd be one of those ones they just get the shot of on your phone, something like that.
Oh, no, absolutely not. We're not going to get that right now.
No, nothing?
I'm waiting for you, mate. I saw you dancing just before. You were talking about it with your son.
Oh, me dancing with my son?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
No,
I don't know about that.
Not a chance.
No.
We are all over the control room here.
I feel like you've come to the wrong people for that kind of action.
Well, no, I understand what show I'm a part of on Mondays, and there's a certain segment in there that I don't want to be in the Hall of Fame member of.
It's almost like you know too much.
I don't trust anyone behind the cameras anymore. After this year of overtime in the Ignite Cup.
Perth by 14 here, 37-23. Joel Peterson, Pete Hooley, Huntley Maley and Damien Martin with you on Friday Night Hoops. Earlier tonight, a big win for the Sydney Kings. Massive style doing it over the Illawarra Hawks. Brings the Hawks season officially, mathematically, with all permutations out the window to an end as Mitch Norton lays that one home.
Great job from Tyler Harrison once again, and going back to this 3-2 zone. So there's a lot of gaps. They found plenty of gaps in it.
Doolittle from the corner, can't hit, but he was fouled. It's going to be 3 shots here for Christian Doolittle. Damo, you were listening to D-Mac at that last huddle?
Yeah, it was all pretty obvious stuff from what you're watching through your TV screens. He was not happy about the fact that the Wildcats shooters are getting the open look. So it's all about knowing who you're guarding, knowing their strengths, and if a wide open shooter does get the ball, to make sure they're closing out that little bit harder. And I just want to compliment Dylan Windler. You said some kind words about him as well. And I just want to jump on the tailgates there, because the assiduousness he has shown this season is why he's an X factor for this team.
Magnificent Damo, very, very good. He's reached deep into the thesaurus there and pulled out a good one, Pete.
You two are something else.
Dylan Windler and Jolo Alachul Jr., according to John Riley at media this week, were coaching the team. So as part of their practice, they sort of took the reins of the practice squads. And it's interesting to hear JR talk about the fact that he likes that, because hopefully then in the game situations, those guys have got to go through the thought process and they can apply that on the floor.
And it's only going to be more and more beneficial when they find adversity in the playoffs at some point.
Which
not have to burn a timeout.
Which we've seen them need at certain times during the season as Norton goes flying into the stage. I mean, this is a team that's had their late game problems, right?
Oh, Christian's a little bit.
A little bit of holding going on between Dukas and JLA under the basket. Dante Russo-Nance is like, oh, I had a wide open layup there. Can we count that?
Look at it here. Dukas just, to be honest, wasn't a heap in it.
Certainly giving away a little bit of size. JLA, Russo, Nance, Windler, Doolittle, Pepper out there at the moment for the Wildcats. Dukas, Maldonado, Norton, Harrison, Taylor for Brisbane as Dylan Windler makes an athletic layup work.
And again, the unfortunate part about this for the Brisbane Bullets is they did all their hard work to get back into the game, down 18-2. And now Perth might put the foot down a little bit. And we keep talking about the percentage could come into play with them, between them and Melbourne United in 4th and 5th. So they're not going to take the foot off the gas.
Got a little bit of a buffer at the moment as Harrison hammers that one home. And that's a nice sight to see that happening for this Bullets team once more.
Great feed from Mitch Norton.
You talk about this man's season. I mean, he was so close to potentially an NBA opportunity in Summer League as well, Pete. Played over in Puerto Rico. And we just wanted to see him healthy and put a season together here in the NBL. He's been so cruelled by injuries over the journey.
He sure has. He was so close. Steal here from Maldonado.
Taking it all the way and laying it home.
David Duke Jr. is getting a couple of spot minutes here in the first couple of quarters.
He's looked a little bit rusty.
As you would, and you probably feel great in practice.
Hasn't attempted a shot as yet. Gets into that one and knocks it down. That'll feel very nice.
Absolutely it will. I don't expect him to have a massive role. As long as Ben Henschel's just a bit of a day-to-day awareness on the ankle.
It's that injury to the arm in that game against Adelaide on December 28. And it looked nasty at the time.
Great to see him back.
Yeah. Norton in the corner. That one's offline. Harrison, offensive rebound opportunity. Can't stick it back in. Pepper coming up the floor. Doolittle stepping back.
Oh, I tell you what, John Riley's having to think about this. Duke Jr. didn't do a whole lot wrong.
He wants the flop call. To see bodying up in that situation as well, especially going in with that left side. He's had a couple of practices through contact, David Duke Jr., just to test the shoulder and the elbow out. Good to see him back out there. Now the Wildcats need to try and sort of fit him in for this stretch run. Sort out how they can get him to his spots without disrupting what they've had going, as Maldonado cashes the three, and that is welcome sight for Hunter Maldonado, who hasn't been knocking a lot of them down.
Go back to the zone again.
5 of 31 before tonight as a bullet from outside, Hunter Maldonado. Jesse Wagstaff chases down the offensive rebound.
Yeah, as you mentioned, they can get any shot they want.
Pepper couldn't push it home. 3:15 left in this second term. Perth looking for a 20th win on the season. They've won 8 of 9, the best performed side since round 15. Here in the second last round of the regular season. Maldonado kept it alive. Holt from straight away.
Foul that man. Anytime you turn around and face the opposition, lose track of them, going to be out of position and give up a foul. They've looked after the ball much better here in this second quarter. They had a mountain to overcome.
Just one turnover so far for the Bullets. Had 8 in that opening turn. Early this season against the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, they lost by 29 and had 28 turnovers in that game. So they've gone above 20 3 times across the course of the season. It's been an issue for them throughout the course of this campaign. Murray, Dukas, Maldonado, Holt, Smith, Milner out there at the moment for the Bullets. Terry Taylor was the offender-in-chief in those early stages with 4 turnovers. Maldonado can't hit from outside. Sindledech walks the tightrope to keep it alive. A 2-man game between Duke Jr. and Doolittle.
And they're getting sucked in. They're getting sucked in to just take too many threes. They're all available. Uh-oh.
Wagstaff was turning the corner with some intent there.
Volume 2.
Little handball to the ref. 2.5 left in this first half. John Peterson, Pete Hooley, Annalise Maley, Damien Martin with you on this Friday night. Perth led by as many as 16 earlier in the game. They now lead by 14. It was 18-2 as that foul's called on Duke Jr.
Only 2 free throws now.
You see their shooting numbers, shooting at 48% from the field, just under 48% from 3. Generated the 5 attempts at the foul line so far.
And then David Duke Jr. It's not college, so he's going to have to. There we go.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. Not that long. Mind you, he might have some eligibility left. Apparently, everybody does these days.
Yes. Have you explored
Don't.
whether you...
Don't go there. Just do not go there.
Maldonado hits both. Makes it a 12-point game again. You see the shooting numbers for the Bullets, 41% from the field. The 4 of 10 from 3 in the grand scheme of their season is positively mind-blowing. Doolittle lost it. Smith-Milner had a hand in. Wagstaff, trademark stuff from him, diving on the loose ball, but it was last touched by his hand.
Bit of a switch up again, gone to man-to-man.
Just trying to junk it up here, the Brisbane Bullets, and doing a reasonable job of it. Tangerine timeout with 2:03 remaining in this first half. 46-34, the Wildcats over the Bullets. They've clawed their way back into this one after they faced a mountain earlier in the game. And this Ignite Cup final, Feb 22, Gold Coast Convention and Exhibition Centre. It is going to be a hell of an event. Pete Hooley, you're going to be lucky enough to be there to see the 36ers and the Breakers battle for all the dough.
I think a little appetizer tomorrow, because they play each other tomorrow as well. That is going to be fascinating. $400,000. I'll tell you what, some exciting things happening for the game as well. So make sure you tune in.
Any tips, any hints on that front?
It's going to be a unique performance, exhibition, whatever you want to call it. It is going to be unique compared to what you've seen so far this season.
So the game more broadly, are we talking?
I mean, you still have to put a ball in the basket for 40 minutes. That's going to stay the same, Joel.
Yep.
But besides that, obviously it doesn't count towards the regular season. So just some more entertainment for players beforehand, some fun during.
Okay. I like that.
Just stay tuned.
I like that indeed. So Adelaide and New Zealand tomorrow at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. 2 minutes left in this first half. Perth by 12. Annalise, what did you hear at that Perth huddle?
A lot about pace and maintaining the pace that they want to play with and playing their style of game. He was big on defense being actually okay, but get in on that rebounding. He's still not happy with their effort on the Brisbane Bullets glass.
Yeah, they're -1 in the rebounds count, and that is a woman who knows a thing or two about rebounding, just speaking on that particular topic as well.
Well, it's made even worse when you think the hot start from the Wildcats. So there were no rebounds for the Bullets to even get in the beginning of the game, and Joe Luala-Chul has missed 4 layups in this first half.
That was a gilt-edged chance that he'd usually absolutely swallow up. Maldonado probing. Holtz able to hang and hit.
7 and 6 in the first half for Jacob Holt. Thank goodness for his energy as well.
It's been massive for them down the stretch as Dukas cops Windler across the shoulder.
They're going to have a little talk about it. Tell you what, I think you might be in a bit of trouble to get it reviewed. Make sure the opposition player is okay.
Looked like he had to think about it there for a little while, Alex Dukas. Just, he looked a bit frustrated and he thought, oh, I better show some remorse here. So he's going to check out of the game. Young bloke out of Geraldton. No doubt, plenty of family have made the trip to see him doing his thing.
Just got beat off the dribble, and that's where the frustration came from.
Second one misses from Windler. Minutes of play in this first half. Brisbane down 18-2 in the early going. Now then able to go on a 13-2 run to get it back to a 5-point game. The Wildcats have taken charge again. Tyrell Harrison, such a welcome return, such a welcome presence inside. He will go to the line to shoot 2 more.
That's Bernardo, 11 and 5 and 4 rebounds as well. So he's picked it up as well. Take out those first 5 minutes. A completely different ball game.
Of course, you can play Beat the Coach this season. Go head-to-head against our very own Damon Lowry in the NBL's official fantasy game. A $10,000 end-of-season prize draw split between $5,000 cash and $5,000 in Choice Hotels vouchers. For every time you beat the great man, you get an entry. Still play supercoach.com.au. May not beat him in running a K every hour for 37 days or whatever he does, but you can still beat him in Supercoach this season, Damon Lowry, as Doolittle drops it off, and finally one falls for JLA.
I feel good going into halftime. I would have expected to have a much bigger lead than this. Brisbane done well to peg it back and then hang around.
Smith-Milner's pass had a little bit too much zip on it there for Norton.
So for all their hard work, they gave up that layup to JLA, a turnover. Any score here from Perth would really hurt them, especially if they give up a 3.
Perth have had the lead out to 14 on a couple of occasions in this quarter. And then it's 16 at 41-25. Russo Nance trying to float it home. Foul underneath. Norton's frustrated. He's given that away.
He's going to send JLA to the free throw line. He's 1 of 2 so far in this game.
55% on the season. 27 and 6 last time out for JLA.
55%. He's a much better free throw shooter than that.
It's the course of his career. He certainly has been.
3.8 on the game clock, guys.
So there you see the call from our referees, James Griggle, Damien Lyons, Alex McEwen now. Referees this evening. 63% free throw shooter for his career.
Well, maybe not then.
As the volume has gone up of free throw attempts over his career, the percentage that he's made has gone down. So his first season, he averaged less than a free throw attempt a game and shot 77%. And it's steadily gone down to 77 in the next season, 65, 61, and now 55. Every year, those free throw numbers in terms of attempts have gone up. Makes a couple there. 3.8 here for the Bullets to work with. Perth by 14 points. Norton from half court. No good. And it is the Perth Wildcats who are on track for a 20th win of the season and 9th in their past 10. They are jostling for playoff position and playing like they mean it in this first half. They got out big early. The Bullets have clawed them back. It's the Cats by 14.
Yeah, strong start. That's the way you have to do it. Lost their way a little bit. Played down to the level of the Brisbane Bullets, then answered back at the end of that second quarter. So John will be pleasantly happy.
Well, it's a 14-point lead to the Wildcats. Let's get down to Annalie.
There's lots to like about that first half from you guys. What are you seeing out there?
I think, we're getting good possessions. They're going to the zone, so just trying to find the middle, and then from there making the right reads, kicking out, get to the line, draw fouls. I think that's how we're going to get our rhythm offensively and get going.
Yeah, they seemed to rush you a little bit when they went into that zone. Was that something you were expecting from them?
No, honestly, it wasn't. But, at the end of the day, we have to be prepared regardless. It's professional basketball. Team's going to throw different schemes to try to win, just try to throw you off your rhythm. So I think for us, just staying in what we know, we can still run any play versus the zone and just making the right read out of it.
And then for you, how does it feel to be out there? You've had a little bit of break from playing in this arena. Talk to me about how you feel right now.
Yeah, it's a blessing to be back. I don't take these things for granted. It's rough being away from the game for so long, especially at this time of the year, mid-season. But, just through putting in work and being around the guys, it's been an enjoyable process to come back, and I'm just grateful to be back.
Best of luck for the second half.
Great to have him out there, David Duke Jr. The Perth Wildcats lead it by 14 at the half, 51-37. We'll get Pete Hooley's thoughts on it all on the other side of this. Perth Wildcats on top at half-time by 14 points. They had it out by as many as 16 at 18-2. It was quite the start for the Brisbane Bullets in all the wrong ways. They clawed some momentum back. And Christian Doolittle led the Wildcats to half-time in fine style indeed. Let's take a look at our half-time match stats. Pete Hooley, what do you make of the numbers?
I mean, half of Perth's field goal attempts have been threes because they've been baited into taking a whole lot. I say baited in. There hasn't been a heap of resistance or defence displayed from the Brisbane Bullets. Understanding they could get layups on just a simple ball reversal, I think John Riley will be talking about that right now at half-time. If the open three is there, you don't have to take it every single time. Get a simple ball reversal, someone will put some heat on the rim, will get a layup.
And of those 10 Brisbane turnovers, they had 6 in the first 4 minutes. In that 18-2 run, they really tightened things up after that. Christian Doolittle, as we said, has been spectacular again. He's really putting together an impressive end to this regular season in the Hungry Jacks NBL. He is the focus of our Hungry Jacks halftime highlights, and rightly so. 15 points to the half, Pete. 5 of 8, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, a steal in there as well, doing it all as always.
Yeah, he can do it all, and he can do it all at a high level. So when Scott Roth came out and said that he's the best two-way player in the competition by far, it was an outrageous claim, but it's not too far off. When he gets in this mindset, he's impossible to guard. He can hit the three ball, he's got a great mid-range, he can take you down to the block, and he can take you all the way to the hoop. So he scores at absolutely every single level. His Blacklaws player profile, 5 of 8 from the floor as well, doing a little bit of everything. The fact that Perth Wildcats have got him for a couple more seasons as well is a fascinating thing, because what they could build around in the future is very exciting.
And as we saw last year, he's the kind of player that loves games at this time of season, right? Post-season action, the games that mean the most, the matters, or the moments that really, when you need him to stand up, that's exactly what he does. He is such a force, Christian Doolittle, to be reckoned with. Part of the story in the early going for the Bullets was the turnovers. And then the Terry Taylor turnover, so that leads to the Darryl McDonald timeout, and then the little incident between them. So take a look at this. So this is Terry Taylor, can't get the post pass in. Christian Doolittle laughing at it.
I mean, that was his 4th turnover.
Yep.
And you don't have to be a lip reader to understand. So this is when he got subbed out of the game, and D-Mac's trying to talk to him. And to be honest, whatever Terry Taylor's saying in that moment, it doesn't matter. So D-Mac's trying to talk to you as your head coach, and you're having no part of it. And D-Mac put him back in the second quarter. I wouldn't be doing that. You've got to sit him for the half, because mind you also, when he got taken out of the game and other guys came in, the Brisbane Bullets started to show something. They came out with energy. Everybody was helping each other. They cracked down a little bit defensively, and they got some shots. He had 4 turnovers in 4 minutes. If the coach wants to say something to you, you just have to shut up and listen in that moment, especially when you've just thrown it to the poor woman in the front row instead of Jacob Holt.
I wonder whether that's what D-Mac said. So at the end of that little clip where he sort of motions toward the back of the bench, I wonder whether he essentially said, you know, get down the back of the bench, you're not coming back after that. And then he sort of got talked around or something like that to get him out there at the start of the quarter time. So the post-match press conference with Darryl McDonald will be very interesting in the aftermath of this one. Of course, it is the penultimate round, the second to last of this regular season. That means the road to finals is right around the corner. This is as it stands at the moment in terms of the ladder. So playing qualifier and seeding qualifier, 5 and 6, 3v4. Those 2 teams lay in wait. This is all as it stands though, Pete, because the ladder can still change down the stretch.
Well, I've been using the ladder predictor, and I've got it coming down to Perth and Adelaide Friday night to end the season, to potentially Adelaide finishing 1st or 3rd. It'll be fascinating. So if the Phoenix can win out and Adelaide drop that last game to Perth, Adelaide will fall 3rd and have to play in that seeding qualifier. And also Melbourne United have also limped their way to the postseason. They don't want to play Tassie. They've got nothing to lose. And tomorrow, big doubleheader and Ignite Cup final preview.
Indeed. So Adelaide and New Zealand, the 36ers, of course, have got a lot to play for. New Zealand still a mathematical chance, and only that. If they lose, or if the Jack Jumpers win, then the Tassie is assured of 6 spots, no matter what. And the South East Melbourne Phoenix trying to claw back some momentum toward their postseason run as well. So a big Saturday of hoops coming up. Second half here is just around the corner. It's the Wildcats by 14 as we emerge from halftime.
really shocked that Wags is going around again. Maybe 3 years ago, could have been a bit iffy here and there, but he's not slowing down.
Here he is, the veteran. Oh, they're going to love that.
He's still an ultimate pro. Does what he does extremely well. Now rocking a shooting sleeve. Seems to be athletic.
Wagstaff winds back the clock, the old boy.
And making plays at the end of the game, so there's no doubt he'll play till he's 40, I reckon.
You got to love his contribution, Jesse Wagstaff. He continues to excel and give a little bit back to the fans as well.
Valentine's Day tomorrow, Joel.
It is, Pete. It is, Pete. Woefully underprepared for that. Thanks for reminding me.
So am I. I just realised that too.
Perth Wildcats by 14, 51-37 here as we enter this second half. Joel Peterson, Pete Hawley, Damien Martin and Annalie Mainley with you on this Friday night. Second leg of a doubleheader earlier tonight. The Sydney Kings did it in powerful style over the Illawarra Hawks. And this Perth Wildcats team still jostling for playoff position. There you can see Ben Henschel, who is not out there tonight with an ankle complaint. Jaron Riley in the huddle as well. I have got Sunday Detch and David Duke Jr. back as this Perth team. And they're doing it nicely at the moment behind 15 from Doolittle, 10 from Pepper, 9 from Joe Luala-Chul Jr. and from Windler. Hunter Maldonado, the lone Brisbane Bullet, to score double figures. As you mentioned earlier, Pete, he's got 4 rebounds, 6 assists and 2 steals.
Yeah. Been very good after it's taken away the first 5 minutes. And what does Perth have here to start this third quarter? Because their offense, they could have got whatever they wanted in that first half. They go straight to the big fella and he gets a layup.
So he picks up where he left off, JLA. Do you think D-Mac and this Brisbane defence just continue to throw different looks at the Wildcats?
I think that's what you have to do. When you're down bodies and you understand that you're just not a great defensive team, you just junk things up. So that was man-to-man. Next time down, it might be the 2-3 zone, then a 3-2 zone, and make the Wildcats have to guess every single time down the floor. Because at worst, you'll just delay, take a couple of seconds out of the shot clock until they figure it out.
Alex Dukas getting 2 to go. 2 or 3 on the evening. First season here in the NBL for the NBA champion. Windler misses that one. And then fouled Mitch Norton. Just a little bit casual with it there for a moment, the Brisbane Bullets, and left the door open for Dylan Windler. 3 of 7 from the field for the Perth wing. Just joining us, Perth led 18-2 after 4 minutes. Brisbane had 6 turnovers and 1 field goal attempted. It was a horrible start for this Bullets team. They've been able to gather it all up, find some kind of competitiveness in the ball game. Dukas almost fumbled that one away. Guarded by JLA, who swats it in next week. Straight to Norton, who hits the 3.
Assist. That's an assist for JLA.
Unconventional, but it's effective for Brisbane.
Mitch Norton throws his hands in the air thinking, thank goodness. He cannot buy one this season, but they'll take him anyway. They can get him right now.
Shooting under 16%. He was 1 of 9 from the field last time out, Mitch Norton. JLA's little layup takes a lap of honour and falls.
So this is something that John really, he's focused on just his team right now. He's focused on how does my team execute, how does my team defend. They've got a much bigger assignment on Sunday. Right now they can score any time they want.
Maldonado turning the corner. He gets swarmed. Pepper got it inside eventually. And then off the catch from JLA, got fouled. Elijah Pepper lays it home.
Elijah Pepper just saying my bad to Joe Luala-Chul because he threw the second worst pass to a big man I've seen in this game.
There's no foul call. The whistle on the play just to get the floor cleaned up where Doolittle hit the floor at mid-court. So no foul on that play for Elijah Pepper. And Doolittle share a word of encouragement for one another.
Christian Doolittle calling the play already.
Such an astute defensive mind. Backs it up with his actions at that end of the floor. Dukas dribbled it off his foot, gathered it up again, couldn't get it to fall.
That's the beauty of Dylan Windler. The ability not to get screened and uses his length even if he's a second behind just to stay attached to the hip.
Thought about it, Windler. Offloads to Pepper. Banks it home. Impressive move from Elijah Pepper. He's got 14 in the game on 6 of 9 shooting.
Yeah, hot very quickly. Only from three-point range.
Windler going at Dukas again.
That's exceptional defense, and Alex Dukas is barking. He's got to be careful, and they're giving up yet another layup. Good hands there from Taylor. But that's exceptional defense from Dylan Windler. I'm not sure what Alex Dukas is barking about.
Terry Taylor saved the day there with some really good defense right on the last line. Alex Dukas is still going.
I think he was really trying to get a technical foul. That's in trouble. Got to think about getting a timeout here soon if you're the Brisbane Bullets. There's 4 layups in a row.
And that lead is now a game high, Pete. It's 61-42, 19 points.
Trouble.
Lots of steps all over the place. Terry Taylor laying it home. (61-44). 6:15 remaining here in this third term.
It's a very simple offense, right? You get a ball reversal, someone puts 2 feet in the paint, pass to somebody else who's open, try and knock it down. There is just no resistance. For the Perth Wildcats, it's all about this end right now, just trying to lock up. How stingy can they be defensively?
Russo Nance got a hand in on Holt, just the 5 points so far in the term for the Bullets, 10 for the Wildcats. In fact, make it 12 for the Wildcats after they led 51-37. So 12-7 so far in this term. Holt's now at the line. Dylan Windler comes out of the game. The big fellow is 7-7 so far. His energy is unmatched as far as Brisbane's concerned. Of course, Tyrell Harrison, we haven't seen so far in this second half. He's played just the 7.5 minutes thus far. He's got 5 and 3 with 3 assists.
Seems about at 15 minutes restriction-wise for Tyrell Harrison. Maybe push it to 20. Which also then begs the question of why bother? But I love seeing him out there because you can see how important he is.
And I mean, we only say why bother from the perspective of we just don't want to see something happen to him.
100%. There's an 8-second call. So just Hunter Maldonado, Terry Taylor getting up the floor a little bit. They force a turnover.
Here he is, Tyrell Harrison, right on cue, coming back into the action. Put together a really nice season before he had to step out of the lineup. Double-doubles. Had a terrific game against Perth earlier in the season as well. 27-15 when they won here, and he gets that to go inside.
I mean, he's a beast. And you go back to, you mentioned he was so close to an NBA deal, Joel. So over in Vegas last year, talking to him and everyone around the NBA circles, there was a change in ownership with the Denver Nuggets, or change in, the front office. And that's what ultimately hurt him, because he played well enough there. Everybody loved him. Understanding he's still so young in terms of his professional career. So is there a two-way on the horizon this off-season for him? We'll wait and see, but just love seeing him improve throughout the course of his career. Oh,
Maldonado hit the deck. Matt Mahan with an aggressive take gets fouled.
Oh no, Maldonado was straight over on that right ankle as well.
Had a little bit of that. Tristan Devers did that against Tassie last Friday night.
Oh.
Here we go, we've got 2 here, guys.
Hunter Maldonado comes out of the game. Perth by 16. Of course, Tyrell Harrison back into the lineup. Let's get to Damien Martin courtside.
Yeah, Hunter's obviously limped off to the bench. He's been super important in the Brisbane Bullets after a poor start early on. But I know how Tyrell feels. You know, he had a change in front office, hence him not getting an NBA contract. I was in a similar boat, that if it wasn't for lack of ability, a coach, a GM, a front office not wanting me, I could have been over there myself. But I do actually want to pay tribute to him, because you're right, why is he out there? He's missed multiple games through concussion, but from the start, from the tip-off, he was vocal from the bench, he was supporting his teammates despite that sloppy start with the turnovers. He gets it's out on the floor, he's been one of their best. And it's not about the here and the now, it's about setting a culture, setting a tone for, hey guys, in this off-season, we have not been up to scratch this regular season. Put it down to injuries, you know, Casey Prather goes down early, change of coaches, whatever it is. But I love, personally, that he is out there with only 2 games remaining and not a whole lot to play for insofar as trying to make a postseason, because that's done and dusted. But him being out there playing with the aggression we're seeing right now after missing so much basketball, it's more about, okay, guys, we're done for this regular season. Who's coming back early? Who's putting in the hard yards? Who's prepping for next season? Because I'm going to be here. I'm all in.
Yep, he is a real tone setter for them. Dante Russo-Nance from outside.
Also, just very humble of Damian Martin. He's just had a trip over to the States, Joel. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but he went to a lot of different sporting events, and everyone else had a ticket and accreditation. He didn't need anything. He would just walk wherever he wanted. Basically,
he just smiles at them.
And everybody knew who he was. That's what happens when you're a big deal like that.
The Prince of Perth, you just sort of get whatever you want. You know when Damo's setting up for one as well. That's what I love. You can sort of see him coming off the long run.
Oh, what's an anti-check?
Why not?
Look, I don't want to be that guy, fellas, but it was a little embarrassing. I was fortunate enough to go to a Spurs game thanks to Australian boomer Matty Nielsen, who's an assistant coach here. But, you know, I was blushing a little when Wembanyama came over and said, oh, may I please get a photo? Aren't you friends with Pete Hooley? I was like, oh. No.
Have you seen that photo, Joel, with Damian Martin and Wemby? Damo,
they had to zoom out.
Damo turns and Damo's just tying his shoelaces from standing upright.
I thought they had to put it on panorama mode, like vertical, to get them both in the shot.
It really is incredible. I know we've got some bars and a lot of talent in front of our eyes right now, but seeing Victor Wembanyama up close and personal is incredible. So let's focus on this one, but anyone who gets an opportunity to head over to the States, you've got to go watch the Spurs.
It's a great call, but also we'll wait to see when Wemby is Wagstaff's age, if he's going to do little pirouettes into dunks. And so right now Wagstaff has that over Wemby.
Yep, high bar to follow. Free throw coming up here for Christian Doolittle after he made the bucket and was fouled. 17 points, 6 of 9 shooting. He's got 4 rebounds, 5 assists. So he's right on averages for assists. 17 points is just above what he averages. He cashes the free throw. 32, 7 and 4 last time out. 11 of 18 from the field.
He is going to be a problem in the postseason.
Well, he was last year, wasn't he? Remember that season, that series against Melbourne United? He was immense.
You think about them going on the road in the seeding qualifier, as they get a turnover here and they'll get 2 more free throws. So if they go on the road and play Adelaide, could you imagine the theatre alone with that game? So that is if they beat Adelaide next Friday night and the South East Melbourne Phoenix win out. So if the Phoenix take care of business tomorrow and then beat Melbourne United in a throwdown, there's Hunter Maldonado going back to the locker room, which is not surprising. That was a nasty ankle roll. And then Perth beat Adelaide next week. They will go to Adelaide as part of the seeding qualifier.
Wouldn't that be fun? That would be all kinds of fun. Speaking of, the 100-year Harlem Globetrotters Tour is coming down under. June and July, Australia and New Zealand. Scan the QR code on screen and buy your tickets. 100 years of thrills, laughs, and joy. You can be part of the legacy. Getting involved with that. Matt Mayan misses 2 free throws, and that'll be called goaltending from Tyrell Harrison on the layup from Duke Jr.
It has been a horrific display of free throw shooting from both teams tonight. 8 of 15 for the Bullets, 8 of 14 for the Perth Wildcats.
That is not pretty. 10-21 from outside, conversely, the Wildcats, so almost shooting better from three-point land than they are from the free throws.
Harry Taylor's avoided his 5th turnover there.
Only narrowly. Norton racing up the floor. JLA, Mayan, Detch, Duke Jr. and Wagstaff out there for the Wildcats. Murray Devers, Norton, Harrison and Taylor for the Bullets. Mitch Norton sees another one fall.
Found his stroke. Better late than never.
And it's great to see.
Well, he's a much better shooter than that was suggested.
And he's been battling away. You can just see that it's been taking its toll on him as well as the leader of this group. Sunday Detch around and out. Joe Luella Jr. puts it down. He's been shouldering so much of the load in terms of just trying to keep this thing on the rails. JLA. I mean, he's spoken about a lot of those challenges when we take a look at the Army replay.
Throws it back to Tyrell Harrison, goes and get it. Knows that they're going to go underneath. They want to tempt him to shoot it. Knocked one down few minutes before.
Really enjoyed listening to Mitch Norton talk about leadership and trying to handle the adversity throughout the course of this season and just focus on the little things with the group as well and trying to keep the morale up. Must be an almighty task for he and the likes of Darryl McDonald, Tyrell Harrison, the leader of this group, just to keep things on the right track.
It's inevitable, right, to go into it with those little mental lapses and the seed of doubt when they just lost key players to injuries. So all of that means that the focus hasn't been there from the group. We saw that in the first 5 minutes.
Misses. And we have seen that frustration boil over at times. It has.
That's inevitable as well.
Yeah. They're only human. Jolawala Jr. can't hit underneath. 15 points on 6 of 11 now for JLA.
Missed his last 2 free throws, so he's got to finish off his hard work.
Taylor didn't like what he saw. Kicked it out to Murray, around and out. 7th rebound for JLA to go with his 15. Doolittle leads all scorers with 18. Elijah Pepper's got 16.
It's just dried up a little bit without Pepper and Doolittle on the floor.
Junior's baseline 2 doesn't fall. Just trading misses at these stages of the game. These two teams.
Not really seen enough. So that'll be Windler and Doolittle ready to check back in.
Dante Russo-Nance as well. So he's getting some extended minutes, playing with some real confidence. Tristan Devers tosses it out to Taylor. Time winding down. Smith-Milner's going to have to uncork one. And here, tie-arcing shot from Toy Smith-Milner.
And they'll take it however they can get it. And it wasn't the prettiest possession. But 3 points is 3 points.
Junior making his move to the cup. Foul on the play.
To the line for 2. So Perth seeding qualifier, and again, so it'll be Melbourne United and Tasmania in a single elimination game.
Okay, so that's just statement of fact type stuff now?
I think so, based on everything, based on the last 4 or 5 weeks.
And potentially there's Shaylee injury as well now to add that.
That's devastating, obviously, for Melbourne, but just what he's had to go through individually. But that would be an unbelievable game with all the pressure. Jazzy's just no fuss attitude. They take the possessions out of it, grind them down. Obviously, this is all after the FIBA break as well.
Plus the matchup and the history, the fact that Tassie have beaten them a couple
mental
of
side
times.
of it, absolutely.
At JCA particularly. So if Perth go on to win this, which you would imagine they will, barring a disaster.
Really? Oh, okay.
They will go a win and percentage clear of Melbourne. And that percentage might be sort of only around 1%, maybe not even that, but it's going to be mighty tough to claw back.
So Melbourne United, Hawks on Sunday.
Yep.
And then a throwdown on Thursday.
Yes. Yep. Perth have got Sydney on Sunday and then Adelaide next Friday. As you have rightly mentioned over the last couple of nights, Pete, has been that really key swing game in all of the permutations as playoffs edge closer. Tane Murray putting it on the floor, making a pretty move, can't make the shot to go with it. Windler and Doolittle share the rebounds. Perth up by 19. They led by 16 after 4 minutes. They've led by as many as 23. The Bullets haven't lacked for fight and resolve so far tonight. That is just bully ball to its maximum extent from Christian Doolittle. Terry Taylor to beat the buzzer, can't hit. And the Perth Wildcats turn for home with their advantage up over 20, 76 to 55 with a quarter to play. The Wildcats on track to make it 9 wins from their past 10 games.
back. The Bullets have a lot of work to do in the fourth quarter to bring this margin back to some manageable numbers. The timeout for the Wildcats was mainly around percentage, and going into the next game with a little bit of form. The message from the coaching staff and Jesse Wagstaff was about playing our style of basketball and not coming down to the level that the Bullets are putting on out there right now. Damo, what did you hear in the other timeout?
Yeah, D-Mac certainly hasn't given up on his team, and he drew up a play for Terry Taylor, so let's see if he can execute. He's on cue right now. He wants to get into that on-ball situation and be aggressive, but D-Mac was all about still trying to execute, doing the simple things, doing them really well, and making sure everyone's still switched on. So Taylor didn't get the result he wanted, but at least they drew up the play and they did execute just without the 2 points.
Not only is point listing in the percentage, it could matter. It really could matter for the Perth Wildcats if they drop to the Sydney Kings, Melbourne United win out, and if they win big in one of those games. So, because the Wildcats have not got an easy run home.
Sydney and Adelaide to come after this for the Wildcats. That gap was 0.3% coming into tonight that Perth had over Melbourne in terms of percentage. Elijah Pepper is offline. So they'll try and take as much from this as they can, the Wildcats, both in terms of form and on the scoreboard. Divas makes his move inside. Holt tried to keep it alive for the Bullets.
Also, Nance just copped a bit of friendly fire, it looked like. Maldonado about to check back in, which is a promising sign.
Yeah, good to see. He turned that ankle. I think he's gone and got a new pair of kicks as well. Into Maldonado in the process. Christian Doolittle from the corner. That is found money.
He's got a beautiful stroke.
Remember the struggles that this man had when he came onto the scene to adjust, and he had scoreless games, and what he has turned into in 2 years has been quite remarkable. It just shows the patience that is sometimes required for players to get acclimatised to our competition. Nice little hit there from Tane Murray. Can't judge a book by its first few pages. Certainly the story with Christian Doolittle as JLA slipped over at the wrong time. Winkler races back in transition, and great stuff from Pepper to poke that ball loose. It won't go back with Perth.
I saw you go down, that's all. I'm out, Perth.
We're going to get a challenge here. We're going to get a coach's challenge.
Really is going to challenge the play here. So he wants to challenge the out of bounds.
They had a great angle of it.
79-57, 8 minutes to play in this game. It's right in front of their sideline.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Well, Tane Murray.
Tane Murray knew it straight away, too. He had that look of resignation, and then he sold it.
So up, and then right there, the second tip, forcing it to the ground. Very easy call. Great challenge.
That'll be green lights all the way.
That's great hustle from Elijah Pepper. You were up 22. Talking about percentage matters, but it's just those little instincts.
And it's a guy potentially playing for, you know, his spot in the rotation as the playoffs come closer. So there's the percentage. So plus 22 at the moment. That's taken Perth's percentage from 105.52 to 106.24. So that gives them a percent clear on Melbourne. So, and that gives you a bit of an indication on what you would need to bridge that gap. So it's about 30 points, 1% at this stage of the season.
Yeah, exactly right. So a few more here wouldn't hurt them at all, just in case they lay 2 eggs to end the season.
79-57. They'll be trying to take it as wide as they can get. Holt pushes JLA off balance. Foul is called.
There's the 4th foul on Jacob Holt.
A bit of a quieter second half in terms of scoring, 7-7.
You don't mind that, though. That's just the energy, physicality.
For all of what he's done down the back end of the season, this has been probably about his low point in the last however many games that he's had in this little hot run that he's put together, and he's still played more than serviceable minutes today. Offensive foul there.
Yeah, so that's the big guard's a big screen when you have a big who can put the ball on the floor like JLA, but Russo Nance just got a bit too overzealous pushing his own defender into Tyrell Harrison.
Second foul on Dante Russo-Nance. 3 points tonight, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. As we've said, he's given them good minutes, just playing over 20. Only averaging the 10 minutes throughout the course of the season from his 22 appearances. Smith-Milner, that strokes looked very good tonight. You know that he can knock him down.
10 points now off the bench.
A little bit of Tall Blacks Toey this evening. One stepped out of play by Alex Dukas. JLA, Russo-Nance, Windler, Doolittle, Pepper for the Wildcats. Dukas, Maldonado, Smith-Milner, Harrison, Taylor for the Bullets. Has led this game by as many as 24 points. Margin now at 19.
They're also clearly just trying to get through some sets very methodically.
It's a wild one from Windler. Doesn't fall. And probably what John really would want, because they were a bit out of control earlier. Speaking of out of control.
But it's hard because all of a sudden you don't be aggressive as you should be. Elijah Pepper turned the corner looking for a pick and pop preemptively, rather than trying to get 2 feet in the paint, and probably has a little floater. These are really hard games to play in that regard.
Maintain the focus and the energy levels as needed throughout. Good defense there from Taylor. Tyrell Harrison's going to run the floor, put the afterburners on. He got challenged by JLA and was fouled.
JLA kind of stopped running, wanted to try and meet him for a block. You can get down there first and wall up. Be able to avoid the foul.
There's a little bit of a standoff there at midcourt. Neither of them really wanted to sprint full gas. Tyrell put the head down and then JLA went with him. Don't often see that big on big fast break. Good to have this man back. And all you can do now, Pete, is just cross your fingers that he gets through these last 2 games unscathed.
Spot on.
Get to the off-season, put in the work, and see where it takes you.
It's an exciting future. Get to that point where you're like, well, I'd love to see him stay in the NBL, but selfishly, but also want to see him achieve his goal at the highest level.
I don't know how many times we have to say it's still only 26 years age,
yeah.
so much ahead of him, be it here or abroad. Doolittle's up to 25, 9 of 12 tonight for Christian Doolittle, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Alex Dukas laces that one. He's up to 8 on the evening.
2 of 2 from outside. Thought he might get a couple more up returning home.
JLA had that one fall off the rim, helped by Smith-Milner. Some reinforcements coming for both these teams here. Maldonado testing out that ankle. Looks up to standard.
Well, we're going to get timeout soon, I reckon, from John Riley, because we talked about the percentage. They talked about it in the timeout. Hasn't been the last few minutes.
It's been messy stuff here for the Wildcats. They scored 5 points in these first 4.5 minutes of this final term. The Bullets have got 11. Turned with a 21-point advantage. It's now back to 15. Pepper gets that one to drop.
Timeout here from D-Mac, which probably helps the Wildcats as well.
Indeed it does. 83-66. 5:05 remaining on Friday Night Hoops. So an opportunity for both of these teams to talk about things. 17-point lead for the Wildcats, 83-66, shooting at exactly 50% from the field, 44% from downtown, which is impressive, 56 from the line there, 10 of 18 there, 39 rebounds, plays 31 on the evening. For Brisbane, shooting 42% from the floor, 43% from three-point, which is a positive for them tonight, Pete. They wouldn't have approached that in a little while. So that's been one element of their night that's been a success. 13 turnovers, so many of those early in the piece were costly.
Yeah, too many. I mean, that first 18-2 down against a very good team basically rules the game. Done and dusted at that point. Forever chasing your tails, because every time they've gone on a run, Perth just went on a little run themselves.
So the Wildcats by 17 as it stands. 5:05 remaining in this ball game. So 83-66. There's Christian Doolittle, 25 points for him tonight. He is putting together an almighty hot streak on this season. And there is a lot of green on that shot chart, Pete Hawley.
Yeah, it's a pretty shot chart, super efficient. He'd have one little eye on Sunday as well.
That is it's the analytics dream in terms of the shot chart. It's all either at the rim or behind the three-point line, apart from one from the elbow.
2 shots here for Hunter Maldonado. Just taking Duke Jr. off the dribble.
So 4:57 remaining in the ball game. This is where you come into your own, I feel like, Pete Hawley. This ladder predictor as the season reaches its closing stages. You can scan the QR code now, head to nbl.com.au. So many permutations that can go into how it all shakes out. You've been living in there in the last couple of days. That last game, Perth and Adelaide, next Friday, is going to be so vital in determining where it all falls.
Sure is. Every which way I seem to do it. Comes down to that final game of the season.
Melbourne and Southeast Melbourne next Thursday night. The throwdown's going to be big. Sydney and Perth, Southeast Melbourne, Tassie tomorrow. Melbourne Illawarra on Sunday in the early game as well for Melbourne United's hopes. So many big games still to come in this Hungry Jacks NBL season. What about that from Elijah Pepper for a circus shot? Worked his way through the traffic, just threw it up at the rim and it fell.
Shot clock winding down, Amy replay. Good defense from Maldonado, but sometimes when you're just born to score the rock, even the lucky ones drop.
The bucket and the facials from Elijah Pepper there. He had a little bit going on. Point lead for the Wildcats. Foul down low. Foul on Pepper. So Doolittle, Duke Jr., Wagstaff, Aquera and Pepper out there for the Wildcats.
Oh, we're all going to sit down, so 15 minutes seemed the sweet spot for him. Played 14 and a half.
Bullets have got Sydney in the early game next Friday. Great defense from Doolittle. Denying Dukas. Aquera from the corner, side of the backboard. Didn't give it a chance. And the 2-5s get tangled up near midcourt.
Going to be a bonus too.
Just the second foul on Doolittle. No one in any particular foul trouble this evening, so they've all kept their noses pretty clean as far as that goes. Pepper with 20, Doolittle 25 for Perth, Maldonado and Smith-Milner, the only bullets in double figures. Last time these two teams met, it was Jacob Holt for 17 and 7, the only bullet that scored in double figures.
Maldonado, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals and a block.
Coming off 13 and 10 last time out as well. Of course, he had that really tough night out against Tassie last Friday, so he's bounced back pretty well from both of those games. Different foul shooting continues. That was a little bit more genteel from Jesse Wagstaff.
That was more what we've come to expect, albeit a little nervous at one point.
Damo's head might have exploded had he dunked it again. We're just saying it's not going to happen.
It's got to recharge.
It's got to wait another 5 years. Could still be going then, by the way. Maldonado from outside.
He's been great. 18 points, 5 of 8 from the field. All of a sudden, it's a 16-point game.
3.5 remaining. Did you have any thoughts there that he was going to rise up again, Damo?
I'm not going to lie. I'm standing on the base and I thought, this is it. This is it. It's happening again. And I don't mind admitting, I've spoken with Jesse at length over the last 7 days since that dunk. As we see David Aquera make it look very easy, throwing it down with 2 hands. But they had the Wildcats Members Day the day after he threw down the dunk. And it was almost like a backhanded compliment. Everyone that came up to get a signature off the skipper was like, I can't believe you can still dunk. How did it feel? Like, what were you thinking? It was nice that I got so many compliments, but I'm also offended that everyone was so surprised. And while we're talking about some of the veterans of the league, I want to give a shout out to my old running mate, Mitch Norton. He has not stopped. He just does not know what quit means. It's not part of his DNA. So he was creating shots for his teammates early on. They weren't dropping. He knocked down a couple of his own, and I want to throw it out there. He's actually extended his stay to Perth. He'll be here all weekend with his wife, Sasha, and beautiful baby boy, George. And they'll be spending it with the Martinos. So Valentine's Day with the Martins and the Nortons, and I cannot wait.
Well, what's on the menu?
Look, I don't mind admitting that I don't care how you like your steak, you're getting it very crispy. There's only one way I do my barbecue, and I make sure that everyone gets a crispy steak, a couple of snags, and there should be plenty of laughs to boot as well. And I've got plenty of Valentine's presents for my 3 daughters, because I figure if I ask all 3 of them to me by Valentine, I'm a chance. And I want to give a shout out to whoever came up with the meme that said any married couple that doesn't celebrate Valentine's Day tends to have a better relationship. So I'm testing that theory tomorrow, fellas. I'm going to test it. Brittany, do not get your hopes up.
Hey, I think Joel and I are right there with you. Yeah. We got here beforehand. We're like, it's Valentine's Day tomorrow. So we were in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, we'd both missed the memo on that occasion, that's for sure. Thanks for just making sure we're not in trouble there, Damo. Sorry, Kez. Taylor from outside. Can't hit. Junior with the rebound. Hit ahead to Pepper. Burgess getting set to check in for the Bullets. 2 minutes remaining in this one. Perth 90, Brisbane 73. Christian Doolittle for 2 more. 27 points on 10 of 14 shooting.
What an absolute stud he is. How do you want it? You want a 3-ball, you want to step back, the mid-range, use his size, get all the way to the hoop. He can score every which way. 27 points, 10 of 14, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal and a block. He is a genuine superstar.
Absolutely, he is. 92-73, of course, a massive weekend of basketball, massive weekend of sport out west, Pete. One of the big showpieces of it all is the Perth Lynx. They start their semi-final series tomorrow. Our very own Annalie Maley is going to be right at the centre of it. Second in the league MVP. Annalie, you excited? You ready to go?
Oh yeah, I'm so pumped. I absolutely can't wait. It's hard to watch basketball right now and not just run on the floor and be like, hey guys, sub me in, I'm ready.
What can we expect from your series against the Bendigo Spirit?
Oh, look, it'll be a really good series, but we have so much shot blocking going on at the moment with our 6'11" Hanju at the rim, so it'll be really, really fun, and hopefully we get the dub tomorrow.
Just a sneaky little triple-double from Annalie last time out. Have you got anything to top that, Annalie?
No, guys, I've never done that in my life. I've never had a triple-double. I don't know what's going on. I think it helps. And like I said, 6'11", standing at the rim, just catching any sort of pass I was throwing up there. I'd be pretty handy to have that in every season I play in.
You know what that means, Annalie? That means you've never had 2, which is on the cards.
Yeah, I hope so. Let's say that.
You've got all of our support, Annalie. We wish you the very best as it all unfolds. Looking forward to seeing how they go. WNBL semi-finals. So Townsville and Southside in the other semi-final peak, both best of 3 series. The winners to meet in a winner-takes-all 3-game grand final series. Perth and Bendigo have had some great action throughout the course of the season. Noah Kwaku-Erg out there getting some minutes now for the Wildcats. Pepper with the offensive rebound. Can't hit. Murray, Devers, Dalton, Purchase, Taylor out there for the Bullets. Perth by 20. I'd love a couple more buckets here for the Road just to keep that percentage ticking over. Tane Murray's fouled by David Quera.
Sure would. Done enough, though. Put this game away in the first 4 minutes. Elijah Pepper had a very good night. 20 points for him.
Tane Murray at the free throw line, 5 points, 2 of 6 tonight, 11 of 21 at the stripe. The Bullets. 10 of 23 from outside. Their best 3-point shooting performances, certainly in recent times. Carl McDonald has been pulling his hair out, metaphorically speaking, about their 3-point shooting in press conferences in recent times. Kwaku-Erg getting inside. He was fouled by Taylor. So their 3-point shooting over the last couple of games Pete. 3 of 24 last time out for the Bullets. 3 of 21 the game before that. 6 of 33, 8 of 32, 8 of 28. The last time they made double-figure threes was in that game against the Kings at Hoops Fest when they were 12 of 38. So they're 10 of 23.
You're not going to win too many games struggling to shoot the free ball at that rate. Even when they were at full strength, they had their struggles.
Been right down at the bottom of the table in terms of three-point shooting across the course of the season. Quackenberg makes the first. Jerovic out there at the moment for the Wildcats as well. Cam Hoofner getting some minutes. So John Riley's emptying the bench. They lead by 19, looking for win number 20. 9 of 10 on the season. They are making a postseason push, this Perth Wildcats squad. Can they get that margin back beyond 20 here on the final possession? It's a really nice take, almost, from Tom Jerovic. Just doesn't fall. Purchase will pull the trigger. He can't hit from outside. And the Wildcats have won 9 of 10. They get it done in emphatic fashion at home. It sets up a marquee clash against Sydney on Sunday. They cement 5th spot, get their 20th win of the season. And that man and this team, Pete Hawley, are going to be very tough to handle in the postseason.
Again, peaking at the right time. Everyone playing with superb confidence. They got David Duke Jr. back in just to really warm the legs up. 9 points, he had 4 rebounds and an assist. There's that live ladder, Mitsubishi Motors live ladder, and they boosted that percentage. They would hope that it doesn't matter at all if they can just get the job done themselves, but so much to play out. And I'll tell you what, I don't think we've seen the best of the Perth Wildcats yet either.
Really? You think they've still got a little bit of room?
I mean, you look at a couple of the games when JLA really goes off. He was 6 of 12 tonight for 15 points, missed so many easy layups. So if he becomes more efficient in those games, Christian Doolittle will be himself. Dylan Windler had a very quiet game by his standards. You've got Pepper, Henschel, all these different pieces. They've still got levels to go if they can reach it.
You see there, that percentage gives them the edge over Melbourne in that 4th spot. They are doing some very impressive things at the moment of the Perth Wildcats. And they are going to make a very big run at this postseason the way they are playing. Families getting involved as well, which is great to see. So much to like about the basketball that this team is playing, the way that John Riley's got them humming, and now they have to sort of integrate David Duke Jr. back into the game as well and see how they can get everything humming and on the same page. Our Foot Locker player of the game, Christian Doolittle, once more, 28 points, another monstrous performance. He is with Annalie Maley.
A huge game from you tonight. How did it feel to be out there? It felt like everything was working.
It felt good, understanding that we're on the tail end of the season. We just want to keep momentum as we get ready for the playoffs. I feel like we were clicking throughout most of the game. I feel like we had some low spots, but most importantly, we just got the win.
You guys started really, really well. Was there something different leading into this week that gave you that hot start?
Not necessarily. I feel like our attention to detail has been, where it needs to be. As we, like I said, we get ready for the playoffs, understanding that every game counts. Regardless of who we playing, they're going to get our full attention.
And the way that game finished, everyone was in form. Talk to me about the form being important, especially going into your next game against Sydney, and how some of the habits you're building in games like this can affect those types of games.
Understanding that whenever we're going against the better teams in the league, every possession counts on offense and defense. I feel like that's been our motto, and things that we've been harping on in practice. Just trying to capitalize and make the most out of everything that we're doing. And so tonight was a good win. It's tough to play games like these sometimes, but I feel like we were able to withstand that and do what we needed to do.
Okay, best of luck for your next game.
Christian Doolittle, highlights are plenty tonight. 28, 7 and 6. Put on another absolute clinic, Pete Hawley. 10 of 14 from the field as well.
Super efficient. I love the honesty. It is tough to play games like that when you're expected to win. The other team hasn't been playing good basketball at all. You start 18 and 2 before a timeout is called, but Christian Doolittle, talk about getting ready to play your best basketball at the right time. He is one that is going to be a tough matchup. And I tell you what, I am going to enjoy watching him, but Xavier Cooks and Torrey Craig, that is going to be worth the price of admission on Sunday, because this man, he means business, and I mean, there's no doubt about it. Hasn't been for a while, but he is 100% an all-NBL first-team member. And again, if they were a bit better to start the season, I think he'd be in the MVP conversation as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He is having an absolutely magnificent campaign. He's Christian Doodle. Let's get some more reaction from the Wildcats with Damo.
Yeah, I'm here with one of the best shooters in the NBL, and he was letting it rain tonight from behind the three-point line. Elijah Pepper, 20 points of your own. What'd you make of your personal performance?
Felt pretty good. It was great to see some of those go down. The cutting for me it's been big, especially with guys like Dew and Joe. They get a lot of focus on them. So playing off that ball and trying to get a couple of those easy ones also helps.
Talk to me about the importance of having David Duke Jr. coming back into the lineup after a long stint on the sideline through to injury. Him being back on the roster, fresh and healthy, going to the back end of the season.
I mean, it's great. Duke brings another level to this team, especially defensively. He's elite, picking up the ball full court. His hands are great, and then on the offensive end, he attacks really well, which is another piece that we need, and him being healthy is huge for finals.
And a quick turnaround, you got the Sydney Kings, one of the hottest teams in the league, on Sunday over there in Sydney. What do you make of the Kings so far, and what's it going to take to get the win?
They've been good. They're dynamic. A lot of great pieces. They play well at a transition as well. So we gotta do well on the transition defense and boards, and then go from there.
You got yourself a Valentine's for tomorrow?
Undecided at the moment. Maybe my mom back home, if that counts. She always tells me to shout her out. So hi, Mom and Dad.
Shout out to Mrs. Pepper. Elijah, you were incredible. Good luck on Sunday.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I can't go wrong with that. It's a safe play, but it's the right play. He's playing the percentages there, Elijah Pepper. 3 points last time out for him, Pete, against the Cairns Taipans. He had a tough night, 1 of 6 shooting. Tonight, though, came to play, 9 of 16, 2 of 5 from beyond the arc. He has 20 and 5 assists.
And this is why we highlighted him in the pre-game, and this is why we just have elite producers who get all that research for us out there and can talk about what he can bring to their team. And he can score 21 night. If it's not his night, he can start to play some really good defense and fill a role. And again, just having the gravitational pull. So the nights he has 3 points, if he's sitting in the corner and you've got Windler or Doolittle going off, you've got to be more aware of where Elijah Pepper is, so the defense moves a little closer to him and everything else can open up. And he is an integral part of this puzzle.
Midpoint of the season, he had 5 single-figure games, then he goes 7 double-figure games, and then he's traded sort of highs and lows since then, but another great performance from him tonight, as it was Dylan Windler, who's alongside Annalie.
You had a lot of players shooting the lights out tonight. What happened in practice this week that led to a performance like that from your team?
I think, just another good week of practice. We compete quite a bit in practice, play a lot of live. It's always competitive, so try to keep guys in rhythm, and it's paid off for tonight.
And I want to ask you about this Sydney game and some of those key matchups. What are the main points you guys are trying to hit home heading into that game?
Yeah, obviously they like to play with a lot of pace. Kendrick likes to explore in the ball screen, so we're gonna have to make it tough on him. But also, they got a lot of other pieces. They got a lot of good shooters on the perimeter, and he's a willing passer, so we got to be willing to fan out. And they got a lot. It's going to be tough matchups all over the court, so we got to show up ready to play.
And lastly, talking about form, I asked this same question to Doolittle, but games like this where you get everyone to play and you get everyone rolling, how important is that going into a finals campaign to feel that type of confidence?
Yeah, I think it's good to keep everybody engaged. From start to finish, everybody, being from starters to the bench, being in, ready to play. Getting the young guys given a chance to play. So just keeping everybody engaged, and also being able to keep our starters fresh, playing lower minutes compared to typical games. So yeah, it's always good to come out with a win, regardless who the opponent is.
Okay, best of luck for your next game. Cheers.
2 of the best rebounders in the West, Annalie Maley and Dylan Windler, a 19-point win to the Wildcats tonight. We will break it all down. On the other side of this, Perth cementing 4th with their 20th win of the season. Wildcats get it done in fine style in the end. 19 points the margin. They had it over 20 on a number of occasions throughout the game. It was 18-2 after just 4 minutes. Dante Russo-Nance loving his work, as are the Wildcats. Win number 20 cements 4th spot for now. And we take a look at our full-time match stats. Pete Pooley, the turnovers for the Bullets were an issue early. They reined it back in, but the Wildcats had a pretty good night at the office.
Yeah, I mean, 18-2 just to begin the game. When you're down some key pieces like the Brisbane Bullets were, you give up that lead, you're just not winning the game. So they did a good job to make sure it didn't get too out of hand. They had a good fourth quarter. Hunter Maldonado was exceptional. Everyone else kind of chipped in. So I think John Rillie, if they end up falling out of the top 4 spot on a couple of points, he'd be upset with the way they finished that game. But other than that, he'll be very happy.
It looked early in that quarter like they might really run away with it and stretch that margin way out wide and get a massive percentage boost. It didn't quite pan out that way. So, yeah, maybe a bit of an opportunity lost. But they still sit above Melbourne. We'll take a look at our live ladder in a moment by about 1%. And, of course, in that run into the postseason is going to be all important in terms of how you can string those games together, the percentage that you can build. And for Perth, they're in a battle maybe with Adelaide, unlikely for percentage, and then Melbourne is their key combatant in that race.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating again this weekend, but then going into next weekend. Every single time I use the ladder predictor, it always comes down to Friday night. Perth and Adelaide, we know the history of that. One team could finish 3rd if Adelaide lose that, and the Perth Wildcats trying to cement 4th spot.
Of course, we had to play in for a couple of seasons now, and hasn't it changed what the postseason looks like? So, seeding qualifier 3v4, play-in qualifier 5v6. Loser goes home of the play-in qualifier, and then, of course, you get the winner of the play-in qualifier, the loser of the seeding qualifier. They've got a 1-game playoff, and then those winners advance to the 2 playoff series. At the moment, so this is all predicated on how the ladder stands at the moment. That would be a pretty tasty postseason.
And I think we're going to see some changes to it, but yeah, basically, you're going to get a double chance if you finish 3rd or 4th, which will be a very hotly contested game. And then you'll play the winner of the Melbourne United and Tasmania Jack Jones. I think that right there, the bottom left, we can lock in.
Yep.
Other than that, I think there's a bit more movement to go.
Perth and South East Melbourne, just quietly, would be a very, very good seeding qualifier game.
Well, it would, but each semi-final series, when we get there, is going to be a fascinating watch.
Yep, so there's the Perth's remaining games in the bottom corner of your screen as well. So Sydney on Sunday, Adelaide next Friday. 2 really tough tests. But you come through that with 2 wins, all of a sudden you are steeled for the postseason and find yourself in really good position.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the way you want to test yourself, right? They've been on this incredible run. They're playing the best basketball of the season, but they beat the Brisbane Bullets. You're supposed to beat the Brisbane Bullets. Now, how do you go and do it against the team that's on top of the ladder in the Sydney Kings, who are absolutely flying? So there's their first measuring stick. And then if it comes down, they'll know. They'll know whether they have to beat the Adelaide 36ers to, 1, drop them to 3rd, but also potentially to make sure they stay 4th. If United end up smacking the Hawks and then going and beat the South East Melbourne Phoenix in a throwdown, well, then that game gets very interesting as well.
Here's what tomorrow looks like. So an Ignite Cup final preview, Adelaide and New Zealand at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre, and then the nightcap's pretty tasty. South East Melbourne and Tasmania. South East trying to just regain some momentum in their campaign.
Yeah, I feel like that's a really tough matchup for Tasmania to have to face the South East Melbourne Phoenix, who will be angry with everything that happened this week. I think the Phoenix will send a message to the rest of the competition.
You think that'll steel them for tomorrow night? Everything that went on with Brian Goorjian and Owen Foxwell?
No better way to do it than take it out on your opposition, although Tassie, we know they're always up for a fight.
Yep, Scott Roth will have them ready to go tomorrow night. So a big Saturday of hoops, then a massive Sunday as well. Melbourne, Illawarra, Sydney and Perth to close out the round. What a spectacle that is going to be. Thanks to you, Pete. Thanks to all our crew, Annalie, Damo, everyone behind the scenes here. Friday night hoops, it was fiery at times. The Bullets off to a slow start. The Wildcats had control throughout. That man led the charge. Perth cement 4th spot. Big weekend ahead.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.